of you.
Well, hi there, and welcome to Hour 2 of Home Wizards. Cindy Dole here. So glad that you are sharing part of your Saturday afternoon with me. We're continuing to talk about all things home, garden, and life improvement. And boy, isn't that Stephen St. Onge a great guy? I hope you can check out his book. I really am impressed by it. And if you go to my Facebook page, in fact, we're giving one away. Just go to facebook.com/follow Cindy. And email me and let me know for your chance to get. He's an incredible guy. He was so down to earth and all that. So up next, last Saturday we were talking quite a bit about edible gardens and who isn't planting something to try to not only save money on food, but just, have something that you can be so proud of because your lettuce came right from your yard or your tomatoes came right from that container. But there was someone who called in and said, what do I do because my dog is getting into the vegetable garden? And you know what? Don't we all have those problems? So coming up very soon, we're going to talk about how do you control animals, whether they are your pets or they are other wild animals, from getting the best of all that you're growing, whether they're edible gardens or just flowers, you name it. I mean, there's all different kinds of theories out there. There's a lot of homemade remedies. There's different kinds of products, but I thought we'd explore what some of the solutions are and a chance to kind of hopefully get some relief because it can be very, very stressful after you spend all this time and then poof, it's gone. Now, heads up, too, because the Clippers are taking on the other Wizards. This Home Wizards will be parting a little earlier today, but not to sweat it. I hope that you just go to the website at cindydole.com and you can listen to past shows. And by Monday, we'll have today's show up there. You always go to the on-air section, or you can go to cbsla.com and listen to the podcasts, cbsla.com, to see all the past shows and so forth. Now, I want to tell you one more thing. Heads up that we're going to be sharing a video of the Pasadena Showcase House that's coming together really beautifully. It's in La Cañada this year, and it's this home that was designed by the famous architect Paul Williams. I think you're going to really love it. It's this English-style home. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can see the pictures so far. It's really coming together. They have about 3 more weeks, all these designers that volunteer their time and all the products that's donated and so forth, and then our chance to get smarter and dream about the home by taking the tour. So it's coming up very soon, but I want you to see the pictures in advance. I think you're going to like it. The garage is really a standout. I also really liked the outdoor kitchen, and wait till you see what they're doing there. I think it's really incredible. It's all great. So just check out at Facebook.com/follow Cindy. So let's get now to my next guest, because we all love cute, adorable critters, but we don't love it when they seem to munch on what we're growing.
If I could talk to the animals, just imagine it, chatting with a chimp and chimpanzee. Imagine talking to a tiger, chatting with a cheetah. What a neat achievement it would be.
Well, yeah, if you could talk to them and then they could hear what you said and understand, you'd say, please donate them, and then we'd be done. But unfortunately, it isn't quite that easy. We have to kind of do a little outsmarting them because they seem to love my roses. Well, we have deer that come to our yard, and then our dogs aren't eating our plants so much as they sometimes can. Well, they can do a lot of digging, and so we try certain things. But what do you know? I mean, how do you really make sure that you can control all that? Are there certain home remedies that are effective? Should you buy certain things? I mean, you go to the hardware store, the home improvement stores, and you see all these things there, from liquid fences to coyote urine to all these products that sound kind of goofy, but maybe they work. So I thought we'd talk about the research, the claims, and how you make a decision to control all of it. And with me is a guy who's very smart about it. His name is James Messina with the Messina Wildlife Management Co, and they specialize in organic products. So, James, thanks for being here. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having us, Cindy. It's really exciting.
Explain, first of all, how you got so smart in this. How did you get into the business, and what's your background?
Well, I wish I could take credit for being the brains behind our operation, but my father, Jim Messina, actually is the...
no Loggins and Messina tie-in, though.
No, I've been asked that my entire life. I got to meet that guy one day. But no, the less famous Jim Messina, he's actually a certified landscape architect and owned a nursery for about 16 years, so my entire childhood. And he parlayed that company with so many customers coming in and asking him for help, with their own landscapes and with their backyards. He started tinkering, and he really started thinking about what was on the market, how things worked, what was good about them, what was not so great about them, and how he could improve on them. And over about a 22-year career, he was able to actually hold about 8 different patents in the world of wildlife control. And upon graduating college, I joined up with him. and have kind of learned everything I know from listening to him talk about it over the years and work with customers myself.
It feels like this is a real competitive world. I mean, there's a need for this. I mean, if you just Google how do you keep animals out of my yard, I mean, all this stuff comes up.
Yeah, it's almost oversaturated with the amount of products that are out there and repetitive technology. But, you're talking about something that people are really passionate about. There's nothing worse than putting in that vegetable garden or that rose garden and spending weekends and nights and your free time only to wake up one day and see it all gone because the animals got to it.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the things that you see online, or you see them in the store, wherever you come across it, a neighbor says, hey, you ought to really try this. I just, I treated it myself or whatever. Is there some kind of regulation on what can be claimed and what can't be?
There is, but there isn't. The EPA is a great source on products that are EPA registered, but they also have a division of products that they call 25B products. And those products are all comprised of ingredients that the EPA has kind of deemed safe or at least exempt from registration. So there are a bunch of products on the market that don't have to actually jump through the hoops and the gauntlet of EPA regulation by proving efficacy. They're just able to put some stuff in a bottle and get out on the shelf. So it's almost a buyer beware situation when you see those things. It's great to look for university studies and independent efficacy and really find out what's been said about a product before you just grab it off the shelf and take it home.
Mm-hmm. And as we're seeing in the whole, in terms of things for people to use, for people, in terms of green products, there's all this potentially greenwashing, and you're in the organic world. I'm just kind of wondering if that is blurred, if some people are trying to claim that they're organic with the product and maybe it isn't.
Well, yeah, organic and green, these are words that are thrown around so readily lately. There have been stories in all the national newspapers about really how green are the product's claims. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, there are certain unbiased organizations, whether it's the USDA and their organic program, Washington State has something, California has some regulations. If you can kind of hold to those thresholds and get some kind of certification, which our products do, it definitely says something more than just saying, hey, all natural, because, arsenic's all natural too, but you don't want to...
No.
You don't want to put it somewhere.
We don't want that natural. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a real situation of buyer beware, be real careful, read all of the ingredients, read all the directions. It's kind of one of those old true statements. Just follow the directions, and you can save yourself a lot of trouble.
And are you finding that nurseries and different home improvement stores are looking to put more of these products on their shelves, that there is a real need for it? And people...
Yeah, it's almost a little bit of a catch-22. Garden centers and nurseries love selling plants. As well as they if a deer comes and wipes you out, guess what you need to buy? More plants. So there's a situation where it's great for business because it can keep customers happy. It can retard a little bit the sales progress. It can slow it down and kind of prevent some sales if customers are protecting everything they have.
Oh, that's true. It's like the car business. We don't want the car to last too long.
but if you get somebody to really enjoy gardening and to be successful with it and to stop their problems, they're going to really increase that passion and that drive and plant even more. We've seen it time and time again. How many of your friends have just given up on planting certain things?
Oh, we can't have that.
Yeah.
Well, don't go away, James. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to go through some of these different remedies that I've even tried on my own, like pepper and human hair and things like this versus some of the other things that are in the store, and how do you make sense of all of it. We're talking about ways to keep, rabbits and deer and all those cute critters from getting the best of the things you're growing. We love them in nature, but we just don't want them in our little piece of land. Home Wizard Cindy Dole, we're back in a bit here on KFWB News Talk 980. And it is a wonderful world, don't you think? Wonderful world, because you're listening here, and I'm so glad you're with me this Saturday. Cindy Dole, Home Wizards, where we talk about every Saturday ways to make your world a little better. But what if you do all the things you think you're supposed to do with the garden, and then all of a sudden those creatures in the wonderful world are turning your yard into something else? Like for us, we have a deer petting zoo in our driveway. We love coming home. Who knew? We have a couple of buck in our driveway as we're coming home to the mailbox, and there they are munching on the ivy and munching on the roses. But, we're not complaining. It's all beautiful, and we're so lucky. But, there's still some things we want to do to control all the munching. So with me is a guy who can talk about it, James Messina with Messina Wildlife. Thanks for hanging out, James. And I want to first go through some of these home remedies that I've tried, maybe others have tried, and just kind of get your feedback on it, okay? What about cayenne pepper? I mean, I've been told to sprinkle that in my garden to keep dogs from digging.
Yeah, it's a good repellent. It doesn't last that long, as I'm sure you've known if you've used it. With your irrigation system or regular rainfall, it will wash off pretty readily. But it works by causing pain, which, may make some homeowners or at least dog lovers a little less enthusiastic to use it. It basically works by, if the dog tastes it, licks it, or gets it on its paws, causing discomfort. And with enough of it, it can drive them out of the area pretty effectively. You just have to be very diligent and make sure you're out there and against the elements, making sure that it's still in its, that it's there to do its job.
Or it may make them want a margarita.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. But I know we don't want to cause them too much pain. I mean, usually for us, our dogs go, they just kind of snort and then that's it,
Yeah.
All right, what about this one? This just sounds kind of goofy, that we're using human hair, like not only ours from a brush, but we're supposed to go to the beauty salon and ask them for any leftover hair that's on the floor, and then we kind of delicately put it around our plants?
Yeah,
what is that?
Human hair has been used for a long time. The key to using human hair, people often don't realize, you have to make sure you get it before it's washed. Too often, if you do get it from a barber or a salon, they've already washed the person's hair and have gotten all those oils that would give the smell of the human that the animal would pick up. They got rid of all of it. So if you're getting hair that's already been cleaned, you're really just kind of not doing much good for keeping animals away. You're just kind of sprinkling hair throughout your plants, whether they need it or not.
Okay. How about garlic powder?
Garlic powder works real good. The reason why, or real well, I should say, the reason why garlic works so well is that it has such a pungent odor that what it does is it really starts to imitate the smell of a rotting carcass. It's so strong that herbivores will start to be afraid that maybe a carnivore has a fresh kill. Maybe a coyote's come off the mountains and has killed something and it's going to come back to eat again. And so the garlic really works by putting that notion of fear into the herbivore's mind.
But I mean, how much of this do we need? I mean, we just go to we're not going to the grocery store and to the spice section and getting like.
No, I mean, you can make your own with some garlic oil or use one of the commercial products that uses garlic oil. The key is you really need a lot of it. If it doesn't bother you, you're probably not using enough of it. I mean, it's got to be a pretty strong odor when you're applying it. It will, it'll dissipate over time, but you have to make sure you're using something really strong to get the job done.
Now, we have a koi pond, so we're also trying to keep the predators away from getting our cute little fish.
Sure.
And at one point we tried coyote urine, to keep not only coyotes but raccoons away. And I don't know if it worked or it didn't, but I just know that our neighbors had raccoons, and so then we ended up going a different route. But what do you think of that?
Well, the predator urines, there's two things about it. First, there's been some stories recently about how that is collected, whether it's the most humane way or not. That's for people to kind of research and find out for themselves. But now with the coyote products or the predator urine products that are nationwide, what they're doing is actually using a chemically formulated version of the urine. So it's not really, you're either getting the real thing and however they're collecting it is what you need to find out, or you're getting something somewhat altered. But it works on the same principle as the garlic. You're giving that herbivore, or in this case a small omnivore like a raccoon, the feeling that a larger animal is going to come back, and it better not be there when it does.
Mm-hmm. So I guess it's really, there's like two different things you're trying to tap into in terms of the psyche of these animals, is that they don't want to go there, it's not tasty to them, or they're scared.
Well, yeah, and then there's a third option too. I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing over the years with our products. We're actually there is a feeling that you can actually use the animal's instincts against them, so that you're actually using their own preferences against them, where you don't have to worry about fear or pain. It could just be something, one of our products uses mint and rosemary, and by being able to convince an animal that sees a rose bush, oh my goodness, this is just nothing but a giant rosemary tree, that it may look like what I want, but my nose is telling me I've eaten this before and I don't like it. It's just kind of a different swerve on that whole fear and pain thinking.
Mm-hmm. Because for us, with these deer, we have a family of deer that just kind of keep coming back. And isn't that kind of the case if you have some predators or wild animals or dogs and cats? I mean, they just kind of they'll come back because they found that you've got that salad bar waiting for them.
Well, the problem is there's just not many predators left. The reason why some of those products are kind of finding smaller and smaller shelf spaces, we've done such a good job at getting rid of the coyotes, the mountain lions, the bears, the cougars. I mean, you name it, any of the carnivores that are out there. if a small child or a pet gets injured, it's always a big calamity to make sure that those animals are removed from the general area. And so these animals are not really that afraid. So many invisible fences, keep dogs at bay. And how many times have you seen a deer stand right on that invisible fence line and eat because they know the dog's not going further? They're very smart animals, and what they've come to realize is they can find a way to live with you. If it means that the dog goes in at night, well, they'll come at night.
Yeah, they're hungry enough, I guess.
Exactly.
And so if your approach is to recreate what nature does to repel animals from certain plants, let's say, by using, certain kinds of scents. I've tried to plant society garlic. I've been told that those pungent plants will really turn a deer off, and they just kind of laugh at me.
Yeah. There's something that your listeners and really everybody should realize. No matter what a garden center or a landscape professional tells you, when it comes to deer especially, there is nothing a deer won't eat. It is only what the deer will eat last. And if you go into it realizing that, you can start to kind of hedge your bets a little bit better, but you won't get set up for that really, that hard fall when you kind of realize that, hey, this deer-proof plant is gone. What happened to it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we can't leave you without talking about that float that you had in the Rose Parade.
Yeah, we were, your song at the beginning of the segment, If I Could Talk to the Animals, brought back a lot of good memories. Thank you. Messina Wildlife was really excited. We participated in this year's Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena on New Year's Day to promote our line of animal stopper products. You talk about deer, and we do make a deer stopper and a rabbit stopper, and your listeners can find all that information on our site. But it was such a rush for us to kind of do something for the viewer that we think's never been done before. And if you've seen any of the pictures, you'll see our float really spoke to that fight. What do you do when the animals come and eat all those roses and those vegetables? And we knew that we would kind of give people something that they could connect to and then laugh at the same time with our depiction. It was a great day all around.
Well, James, what's your website so people can check you out and find out more of what you got going on?
Sure. It's messinawildlife.com, and if that's too difficult to spell, you can just try us at stopanimaldamage.com. We try to make it as easy as possible. And if we don't make anything that, can help you, please bring your questions to us, because God, I'm sure we know who can. And we're more than happy to put you in touch with the right people if it means we can help you out.
All right. Thanks, James. We'll have you back. Okay, you have a great weekend. James Messina with Messina Wildlife. Now, next Saturday, you're not going to be hearing us here today because, like today, the Clippers are going to be here, and that's a good thing. But I hope you go to the website and just go to cindydole.com, where you can listen to all the past shows. Follow me on Facebook, where we always are having all kinds of fun conversation about the home and the garden. Just facebook.com/Cindy. And until then, remember, the key is under the mat, and that you are amazing. Bye-bye for now.